and Council Person Dave Lacotte to come out. Aaron, Brandon, and Joe are licensed practicing attorneys, and David is a professor of law at the University of Akron. And joining with us from the executive's office is Greta Johnson, who also holds a law degree. So I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and use the name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. I want to congratulate Hoban High School's mock trial team who just got back from nationals. Congratulations. The executive, yes. It is so important to recognize the achievement of these students. Oftentimes we have in award-winning and championship sports teams, but as an attorney, this is my favorite one to do. So thank you all for being here. I'd like to recognize the members of these teams: Deirdre Drunsky, Matthew Height, Maria Brennan, Lucy Kenst, Reagan Brooks, Kayla Johnson, Lillian Ophoff, Lexi Schmidt, and Rebecca Nauman. Round of applause for the students. We're also joined with by our prosecutor, Elliot Kolkovich, the county's top attorney. And these students are supported by their teacher advisor, Jared Topp, and their legal advisors, Carol Tran, a partner at Hannah Campbell and Powell, Chris Parker, principal at Roderick Linton Belfans, Kurt Wittendorf, retired principal at Roderick Linton and Belfans, and Mike Capers, retired Akron Police Department chief. Thank you all for what you've done for these students and for our community. I'm going to, I'll invite Councilman Wilhite back to the podium, but I just want to point out that this is the second year in a row that we've invited Hoban High School's mock trial team here to be recognized as state champions. So congratulations to all of you.
You, ladies and gentlemen, have already seen the accommodation that was put together for you, and my colleagues and I wanted to make sure that you know how very proud this county is of you, and how hopeful we are that as you graduate and go on, hopefully you'll get your degrees here, and you'll stay here, and you'll be a representative not only of Hoban as a resident of Summit County going forward, but we'll be able to benefit from your great talents and the work that you've put into becoming the young ladies and gentlemen that you are. We are very, very proud of you. We want you to know that, recognize you, and this is going to take a whole lot of maneuverability, but I'm going to ask that you come up and join my fellow council members and the prosecutor for a group photo so that you have a little keepsake of tonight besides the accommodation. And please know that as you get involved in these kinds of activities going forward, your guidance directors, your counselors, your mentors, if you will, that have been working with you throughout this process are, I'm sure, as proud of you as we are, but understand how deeply appreciative we are that you guys go the extra mile to be that extra special professional. I know it makes your parents proud, and it certainly makes us proud. So come on up for a group photo around the accommodation. Faculty advisors too, please come up. Okay, just kind of form in here. And let's have one of you guys hold this.
No, you're good, sir. I'll stand here.
Now that's a real future attorney right there. Sorry. Congratulations.
We have Dan Rice here today from the Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition to address council.
So good afternoon, members of council, members of the administration. I just wanted to come back one last time. As many of you folks are aware, I will be retiring actually officially next week after 32 years as the president and chief executive officer of the Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition. And I just wanted to come back personally and thank each and every one of you for your tremendous support over all those 32 years. Some of us have been around for that long. We all started when we were 12. That's why we look so young. But in all honesty, we could not fulfill our mission with the development of the Ohio and Erie Canalway and the Towpath Trail and the Summit County Trail Plan without your incredible leadership. Back in 2012, actually, Summit County was the first county to complete the Ohio and Erie Canalway Towpath Trail county line to county line. Summit County completed it before Cuyahoga County, Stark County, and Tuscarawas County. And to me, that's not a mistake. It happened because of incredible leadership here at council. It happened because of incredible leadership at the executive's office. And I'm just eternally grateful to you for that. But you didn't stop there. You developed a countywide regional trail and greenway plan that is the model of many counties in the state of Ohio. To this day, I'm still of the understanding that Summit County is the only county that provides county dollars for the development of trails and green spaces in Summit County. And it's been a tremendous program. We've leveraged literally millions of dollars of private, local, state, and federal funding because of your incredible generous support. And then lastly, you were instrumental in the Akron Civic Commons Park projects at Lock 3 Park and Summit Lake North Shore Park. These are, once in a generation projects. When we first started 11 years ago, and Phil was on that original team, when we pitched Akron and Summit County to be selected as one of about 12 cities across the country, we weren't sure if we had a chance at it. But we did our best, and we brought home, again, $5 million to Summit County that then and now to date has leveraged over $33.4 million for parks, trails, and public spaces. And we kind of refer to it as a moonshot, but they're now realities. And lastly, I would just add that because of your leadership, you're literally changing people's lives. We're honoring commitments to residents at Summit Lake, where for generations we've had a legacy of things done to and not with, and things promised and not delivered. And because of your leadership, we've been able to deliver on those promises. So I know Councilman Ford, Councilman Wilhite, a couple other folks joined us there on Saturday. You guys get extra special points because of the weather, and I really appreciate you being there. But I'm just here to thank you, and also at your seats, you should have these nice little attractive bags that can be used for dogs, or the next time you come down to Summit Lake. Today is a beautiful day. I know you guys are busy, but maybe tomorrow. It's absolutely amazing to sit on those swings that overlook the North Shore Summit Lake, walk out into the fishing pier, watch the osprey catch a fish. My wife Nancy and I were down there on Saturday and watched an osprey catch a fish. It was good for the osprey, but not so much for the fish. But it's absolutely a beautiful space. There's canoeing and kayaking, a very large picnic pavilion named in honor of the Knight Foundation, and then 2 other picnic shelters. And again, this is where your leadership came into play, Brian and Phil, with that extra funding, because we were able to honor those commitments and have those extra picnic shelters and make sure we delivered everything that the residents asked for. So my message is simple tonight. Thank you. I'm grateful for your support. I'm not going anywhere. My wife and I, Nancy, we're still, Summit County is our home, and we're just proud to be a part of this community, and we look to continuing that in our next chapter. So with that, that's all I have to say. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but again, thank you very much.
And don't go away, Dan. Feel free to ask any questions if you want.
Yes, sir.
When's your last day?
Officially next Tuesday, when my successor, Catherine Timko, she starts her first day. And there's a 30-day transition period, so we'll be around till the end of June. But again, I'm still going to be around.
Well, you're not you're too young to retire, so you got to keep doing things. Few people will remember Don Hulick, who was the director of the Cuyahoga Falls Park and Recreation Department for many, many years. John may remember him because of the golf course. He's the father of the 18-hole golf course, the father of the modern natatorium, the father of the expansion of all the parks programs in the former Northampton Township. Don Hulick, we've talked about him before. I don't know if you ever get the chance, go down to the natatorium, into the weight room, and look at the plaque that they did honoring Don Hulick. It absolutely nails him, and you remind me of him. And you're going to be missed, and people like you, you're different. You know, you just love the parks, you live the parks. Don Hulick was like that. Our current leadership in the Parks Department in Cuyahoga Falls is like that. You know, you look at Good Park Golf Course. We love our parks in Summit County, and you have been a big part of that, making the parks as nice as they are in Summit County. And you have a nice retirement, and thanks for all you've done.
Thank you, Councilman. It's an honor to be included in the same sentence with Don. Thank you.
Councilman Wilhite before. I just wanted to say, you know, you mentioned this as a moonshot. It was wonderful to be able to walk through that moonshot this past weekend. So thank you so much for your service. It's an incredible resource for our community. And as you said, we love our parks in Summit County, and I know that folks will take full advantage of all that has been laid out for us there. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman. And sometimes you see all the pretty pictures, you wonder if it'll ever happen. And just to play a small part in something that'll be there for generations is very humbling.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, sorry, Jeff, you know, just the countless things you have done over the years and decades that this current and future generations will enjoy. And particularly, I just love the Ohio Erie's towpath canal, and just, you know, what a blessing it is to our whole county. And I just thank you for all the work you've done. It's been exceptional.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. You're going to make me tear up, Councilwoman.
And we couldn't let you go. You came to thank us, but we couldn't let you go without the opportunity to thank you. And we'd like to present you with this commendation. But on Saturday, you'll probably remember, many folks refer to you as the secret sauce in getting this done. But then there was the secret sauce, and she's sitting right over there. Nancy, Dan's wife. Nancy, come up with him, would you please?
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah,
I won't be in the doghouse tonight.
it is so rare when you are able to be a part of something, to see it from the beginning all the way through. And as you can tell by the color of my hair, I've seen it from the beginning to present day. And Dan, as my colleagues have already mentioned and so eloquently said, what you've given us isn't just a park. You've given us a legacy gift. And when I think of that, I think of my granddaughters, I think of my own children, I think of my neighbors, my friends, and I think back to when COVID hit and how important the parks were for all of us during COVID. They kept us sane, they kept us healthy, and what you've created is not only something that helps with the physical side of our lives, but also the mental health side of our lives, and that's just the greatest gift of all. I won't read this a whole proclamation because we'll be here till tomorrow night with all of the things that you've done. But on Saturday, what was the most remarkable thing that I thought of as we were sitting there between raindrops was the fact that Summit Lake was left for dead. It truly was left for dead. And you and some other folks have not only transformed that into a massive, long-time asset. It goes to the quality of life of this community. You brought it back to life. You brought the fish back. You brought the herons back. You brought the osprey back. You brought clean water back. What's not to celebrate in that process? So on behalf of all of us, my colleagues, the administration, my next door neighbors, we cannot thank you enough for the legacy gift that you've given to this county, and we just couldn't let you leave without saying thank you. And we're thrilled to know that you're not going far. You're going to be around. We've got a couple ideas for you to maybe work on, but the thrill is that someone with your talent and your gifts aren't leaving, because you bring with you not just what you did, but you walked with giants, Ralph Regula, John Seiberling, Fran Buckholzer, so many people who believed in what's out there for all of us. And what you learned from them, you taught others along the way. And I include myself as a student in that process. So again, thanks, Dan. Thank you. Nancy, thank you. Come on up here and get a picture. And I'm gonna disrupt this one more time. Can all of you come and join me if you can? You've all been a part of it, so come and join us in the picture. Come on, everybody.
Can we stand back here? Down there, I'm all wrinkly.
See, if this was a regular council meeting, I would have had to ask the president for permission. Phil, Brian, Greg, come on. Come in this picture. Come on. You're right around. Nancy, you can hold it and show it. Because I started.
And this is personal, because I'm going to blame it on Greta. Because as the Hoban students were walking out of the room, and she knows what I'm going to say, she said, we got internships. And obviously we're proud parents of a Hoban alumni. And our daughter Rachel, as many of you folks know, she grew up with this project. And you can take the girl out of Summit County, but you can't take Summit County out of the girl. And so her first internship was with Summit County government. And your influence on her, she got hooked on public service. Her second internship was with a member of Congress. Wasn't as positive, to be honest with you. Third internship was with the state senator this semester. She applied for a Dunn Fellowship in the state of Illinois, and she will now have a year-long internship with the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Illinois. But it all started here. And we will never forget that. We want her here in Summit County. Hopefully she'll come back. But it's just, absolutely. But you gave her that start, so thank you. Thank you very much.
Kent, do not leave. You need to stay here with us. You're going to try and sneak out. So I am good. Before I open the Personnel Committee, I want to take an opportunity to build upon what we're celebrating here today. This weekend, we had our annual bike and hike with Let's Move Summit County that is presented by this council, Let's Move Summit County, and the Executive's Office. And so I just want to take an opportunity to celebrate what a fantastic event we had this weekend, to thank all of our sponsors and all the council members who participated and also contributed to sponsor this event. It was a beautiful event, as always. The Executive's Office helped. I have my Hike and Bike t-shirt on today. The Executive's Communications Department helped design our logo this year, so I want to thank them for that contribution as well. But most of all, I want to take an opportunity to recognize Kent Starks. Kent, with our council. Kent does a fantastic job and represents us so well in the community with all the partners that we work with and all the committee that puts together this event and makes it a reality. All the people that contribute so that we can offer a free event so that people can have access to and experience our parks. It is a big job, and if you did not know that before, I want to make sure that you know that today, because this is something that takes months and months and months of planning to make it happen. So again, I just want to take the opportunity to recognize Kent for the hard work that he puts in and year out. And this year, while we had rain, it was probably one of the best events we had put together in the history of this event. So again, just want to take an opportunity to recognize Kent and all the work he did and thank him for that as well. Thank you, Kent. And with that, at this time, it is 4:51, and I will call the Personnel Committee to order. We have one item on our agenda. It's 2026-144, a resolution approving a salary adjustment for classified non-bargaining employee Elizabeth Kisner for the prosecutor and declaring an emergency. And I have Prosecutor Kolkovich here. Oh, hi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for letting me go early on the agenda tonight. We're going to get to a baseball game at 6 o'clock and really sweat out a hot one. So Elizabeth Kisner joined our office a little over a year ago. She started in our office as an intern. As soon as she graduated, this was her first job. So she started with a little bit of a lower salary, considering this was her first job out of college. She's done a wonderful job. This salary adjustment puts her in line with the other advocates in our office and is all part of that same salary structure I presented to you shortly after I first took over in 2024. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from committee? Any questions from council? I have a motion.
I was just going to say no questions, but I'm glad to see this because I appreciate the work of anybody who's being a victim advocate. That's very important, and I'm
Thank you.
sure a very difficult job. So
They're on the
you
front
for
lines.
advocating for them.
Thank you very much. I have a motion actually from Councilman Donna Frio on 2026-144. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
And I will close Personnel Committee at 4:52.
We'll open Public Works at 4:52. We have one item, 2026-145, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with American Roadway Logistics, Inc. for the 2026 Summit County Regional Pavement Marking Program in an amount not to exceed $416,704.70 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineers Office. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's the pavement marking program. We do try to do all of the county roads lines every year. Our portion of this contract is about $416,000. This is probably our biggest regional contract. We have Springfield, Lake Moore, Sagamore Hills, New Franklin, Twinsburg Township, Fairlawn, Copley Township, and the Metro Parks joining us on this contract. We received 3 bids, and American Roadway Logistics out of Norton was the lowest bidder.
Great. Thank you, Heidi. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council? Mr. Schmidt moved on 2026-145. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. And that's it for us. I will close out at 4:53.
Planning and Economic Development will open at 4:53. Our first piece tonight is 2026. Oh, wait. Are we doing the update first? Sorry. I knew that. We talked about it like 5 times. Sorry. Please, Holly Miller and crew are going to do an update on the Ohio building for us. And you all have packets at your seat that are a part of this update with very exciting carpeting samples in them.
Good afternoon, Council. Andrew Berry from the Executive's Law Department. Everything that is going to be on the screen is also in your packets, as the chairwoman mentioned. We just wanted to make sure it's on the screen for the audience as well. So first, thank you for your support of the Ohio Building Renovation Project. Your ongoing support has allowed us to continue this work and take it across the finish line. As you can see here, we have the floors and the various elevators in the building broken out with completion dates. These completion dates are ones that we are currently finalizing in an addendum to our contract with all 4 of the prime contractors on this project: Kavanaugh, K Company, Control Concepts, and Lake Erie Electric. Thank you. These dates have been agreed to by all those contractors, and we are adding some language into the contract through this addendum to give these dates a little more teeth. Failure to meet these deadlines will result in a $2,000 per floor per day liquidated damages clause that the amounts will be held back from their contracts for if they go past these days on the contract. Additionally, I would like to clarify that these dates are the completion dates for the floors and the elevators. They are not move-in dates, and they are not occupancy dates for the offices that occupy these floors. These are the dates that they can do their last final work in those rooms and on those floors. The next day and that day, we will be in those offices verifying everything is complete, and then we begin the process of moving back in.
Andrew, just to make sure, just to keep the blood pressure down, that is a typo, right? It's 2026 for the 7th floor.
Yes, it is 2026. Of course, it's on the 7th floor too. No. Your floor will be done July 27th of this year. We've been there. There's some pictures in this packet. It's almost complete, so you'll see that. Good catch. Thank you. But we do have, through the summer, 2 floors will be done in July, 3 in August, 2 in September, and then 3 in November and December will finish us out, including the elevators. Are there any questions before I move on? Yes.
So you mentioned the move-in date is not at those times. What are we looking at the move-in date as? That was a good segue.
Did you?
Maybe?
Oh, it's off. It's off. So we do not have move-in dates concretely scheduled yet.
That's okay.
Yes.
We would just move them probably if we had them.
We will be developing that plan, but currently the plan is to move in the 8th floor, followed immediately by the third floor, my apologies, because of tax collection that needs to take place on the 3rd floor, and the importance of the fiscal office being able to establish their address as quickly as possible so that they can mail out the tax forms before the end of the year to meet their deadline. But QCI was the organization that we brought on board to assist with move-out coordination. Their contract included move back in. So they will be coordinating everything for the employees, parking, reestablishing getting their computers moved back, working with IT. Everything that they did to move out, they'll be moving back in. We'll be moving, as Holly likes to say, in a much more coordinated and structured way, moving back in. Section by section of each floor rather than how we moved out, which was, as you are probably aware, a little more rushed so we could get the project moving. Following the 3rd floor, the 4th and 7th floor, which would be you all, are slated to move back in. We will work with council staff to get that schedule established. And the remaining floors, 6, 5, and 2, will move in following that, likely in the beginning of 2027. Before we move on, any questions about move back?
No, that's fine. I'll wait till the end.
And I will turn it over to Holly for the project details.
So I just wanted to touch on what's been happening in the Ohio building since you fled in the middle of the night, which is how I like to say we moved out since it had to happen so quickly. In your packet, you have samples of all of the finishes that are in council chambers. So that is your paint, that is your laminate. There are LVT, which is the harder floor, the luxury vinyl tile, and then there's carpet, and then there is a sample of the stair tread that is going in on all the floors. But I wanted to touch on everything kind of that's happening. This is probably the largest project that Summit County has undertaken in a building that we own. The biggest thing and probably the unforeseen thing was the environmental remediation of lead and asbestos that was found once they began working. So they have remediated or abated the lead and the asbestos that was found in the floor tiles and in the ceiling tiles. So it's all new ceiling tiles, but it's drop ceilings. So there's actually a ceiling above that ceiling when you look at your ceiling. So there was lead that was falling down under the ceiling tiles. It had to be replaced. All of that was taken care of. All the asbestos that was in the floor and in the ceiling tiles and behind the bathroom mirrors, that has all been abated. It's no longer in that building, which makes the building health and safe for everyone. We have all new HVAC. So if you've ever been to the building and and you're up on council chambers and it's 110 degrees, but then it's 50 degrees on the first floor, that's no longer a thing. We're able to actually individually control offices, individually control floors. All of that is with the new upgraded HVAC. Then we also have, like I said, new ceiling tiles, new diffusers, new paint on all the floors, new flooring, new restrooms with new stalls, new sinks, new toilets. We also added an ADA restroom on the 4th floor. We are modernizing the elevators in the parking deck and in the building, so fingers crossed they won't break down anymore. We've been without elevators, only one working. I wouldn't have gotten in the ones in the parking deck if you paid me. All of that is going to be better and modernized, and it's going to be amazing. We're also going to be renumbering the rooms and the parking deck levels. So the parking deck levels now are M1, M2, 1, 1A. They don't match up with the building. So if you're on the 4th floor of the building, you're not on the 4th floor of the parking deck. So that confused the public when they would come in. They would say, well, I got to go, I came on 4 to do my business. I got to go back out to get to the 4th floor of the parking deck, when in reality they were on the 5th or 6th floor. So the parking deck will now be letters. A all the way through I, and then we're going to have some very user-friendly wayfinding. We're working with Ellet Signs to improve our wayfinding, and we're doing some uniformity with our room numbers on each floor to help EMA, fire, and police, and then just the general public trying to make their way through the building. In your council chambers, you'll have new AV technology. It's the same company that did this is doing it in new council chambers. New entry doors in all the hallways, new stair treads on all the floors. I do want to prepare council for next week. The handrail, or the railing system, that ornate railing system as you go up the stairs, that was found to have lead paint, probably like layer 50 of the 120 layers that were on there. So Kavanaugh is unable to sandblast those stair rails on site without abatement. So we're entering into a contract with a company. We'd like to enter into a contract with a company called Precision Environmental. We are taking the rail system off. They're going to sandblast that off-site. Then Tamarios, which is the painting company that Welty is subcontracting with, will powder coat that in their shop, bring it back and reinstall those handrails. Powder coating, it'll last a little bit longer, won't be chipped as much as regular paint would be. The ballasts or the newel posts and the stringers, those will be sandblasted on site and be painted. So we will be bringing to you as an emergency first reading passage next week a contract with Precision in the amount of $218,000. I just wanted to prepare you for that for next week. And then 6th floor, we're building out for OIT administration. So right now they're on the 1st floor of the Ohio building. They will be moving to the 6th floor, so that's Stephen Byrne and his administrators. OIT help desk and everything will still be located on the 3rd floor. And then we'll have some swing office spaces for public safety and EMA on the 6th floor. Plumbing improvements, right now we really had no way if a pipe burst to isolate where that water main break was. They had to shut off the entire building. Now they don't have to do that. We're able to isolate those. And then on the 4th floor, that's our public floor. That's where we want everybody to come in. That's where they're going to be greeted by Officer or Deputy Nalitz. And Dino, you see, I don't think he's here this evening, but you see him here on Mondays. His office will be on the 4th floor with Dino. That's also our reception desk. We want everybody to come in through there. Welcome to the Ohio building, who are you here to see today, and get them to the floor that they have business on. And then on the 3rd floor, if you've ever been down there, that's what we call our lunchbrary. It's a lunch area with a little lending library. We've enhanced that, and we're also going to be bringing in some healthy vending machine options with the help of Chip and his team over in HR and insurance. We're working with Aramark to bring in those options. That's a very well-used area. People like to go down there, eat their lunch, socialize, play a game, read a book, put together a puzzle. And they'll be able to continue to do that on the 3rd floor. So that's what we've been doing. It's been quite a big project, quite a big lift, but it is coming together, and we do have some pictures for you. There's some in your packet.
Also, for next week, we're bringing a piece of legislation before you that we're titling Executive Security, that we are going to request executive session for We'll work with Mark on that, but that will be some additional work we're going to do on the building to enhance security that we don't want to would like to not speak about in open session. But that is also on the list for next council meeting, but not first reading passage.
So here you have your council chambers. Before is left, right is after. This is your back wall. That's your paint. You can see we just painted over the wood, but it looks nice and fresh and crisp. And again, you have these paint colors in your packet. Here's the hallway. This is the hallway on the 4th floor. Of course, left is before, right is after. And these hallways, they mirror each other all the way up. So any floor, 2, 3, 4, where you have these long public hallways, all of them will look like this.
Pardon me, is this the floor for that?
Yes, ma'am. Well, there's two. So there's another piece that's lighter. It's those two right there.
Those, and they're squares, not planks.
They're long planks.
They're planks, okay.
But what's in the middle, it's called an inset, so it looks like a square. So it's a plank that went down, then we stopped and we cut in those, what looks like a square, but it's still the long pieces of LVT.
Okay, thank you.
And then here's another one of your council chambers.
I had a question about that one, if that's okay.
Yeah.
It looks like the area behind the dais is still kind of a natural
It
wood.
is. We left it that way.
Okay, good. I'm
Yes.
glad.
And then your seal will go up behind you again, but we left that natural wood right behind you.
Okay, good. I was hoping, because that looks really nice.
Yep. Nope,
And
that's
then
how it will look
Is this the
when you move back in 2028.
Is this the carpet in chambers, perchance?
Yes, ma'am. There's another picture coming up.
Okay.
Well, we'll get to it. These are the bathrooms, before and after. And then before and after, and the picture on the bottom right-hand corner, that's the new ADA bathroom.
Holly, remind me, are you guys doing the bathroom in chambers too?
Yes, all the bathrooms were redone. This is OIT on the 3rd floor. We did carpet and paint on this floor, and that carpet is the carpet that you have in your packet. It's also the carpet that's in council.
Okay.
And here's your council chambers with your carpet. Left is before, right is after. So on the front of the packet, if you guys don't know already how to get a hold of me, but I think you all do, is my cell phone number and my email. I can take you anytime to go take a tour. You don't have to wait until the 7th floor is done. I'm happy to take you and do a hard hat tour of all the floors and see the progress. When council chambers is done, we will schedule visits for you to come and see the final product. With that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Holly. Do any members have questions?
Yes, I have one more design question. Where?
That's your laminate. That's the top of your dais.
I think, okay, got you. Okay, thank you.
Any other design questions? I just want to say thank you. I think the first conversation we had about these chambers was way back when I was council president. I know Councilman Schmidt led a field trip to Cuyahoga County for folks to give input. Rita gave input when she was president, and now our fearless leader Erin's carrying it on. So it's much input, but you guys have taken it all, and Craig and team, and just want to say thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And we're going to turn it over to Phil for a financial update on the project as well.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Saving the best for last.
This wasn't cheap. So the original budget for this project was almost $12.7 million. But as Holly and Andrew described, there's been some additional work that was added to the project with abatement, relocation, the security measures we're putting in place. Also, the elevator rehab was a separate project, so that wasn't in the original budget. So we started at 12.6, almost 12.7. We had to add $730,000 for additional remediation, $2.3 million in construction costs, $190,000 in fixtures, furnishing, and equipment. The elevator and security project is $1.1 million. The relocation, including moving fiscal out to the PNC building for tax collections, was an additional $720,000. So all in all, our additions and pending change orders are sitting at $5.3 million. So we have an all-in budget today of $17.9 million. And of that, council has already appropriated 16.8, almost 16.9. So we will be coming back to council for about another $1 million in appropriations, and we have 1.1 million in cash that we need to move to finish this project out. So that's where we stand right now, 17.9 million, and we're just going to maneuver a couple little things to get that all shored up, but we'll bring that to council.
Thank you, Phil. Mr. Wallach, did you have a question?
Yeah, Phil, this cost compared to new construction probably doesn't even compare, does it?
I mean, if you think this facility here was 14.5 million, and it was a full build out, so it's on par with where we are. Yeah, I mean, new construction would be $50-60 million if we were going to try to do an 8-story building. I mean,
Well, in an old building like that, every time you open a wall, surprise.
that's what it was. Every time we opened the ceiling, there was more lead and more asbestos that needed to be taken care of. But to Holly's point, it's all been fixed. We can all breathe easier in there, as they would say.
And one final question. This work is the first time we've done anything major to that building since
It's
when?
the 70s, I think.
50 years.
50 years.
50 years.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I think I've mentioned this before, and we find ourselves all the time as things come up in this building saying, well, it's been 50 years since we've done anything here, and it'll be 50 more before we do it again. The capital plan that council approved earlier this year, obviously the Board of Elections, this space has been taken care of. The Ohio building will be taken care of. We have money set aside, and we're going to continue to set money aside for the Grant Street facilities, the old Board of Elections, to renovate those. The safety building renovations, we're looking at security in the safety building, Ohio building, Common Pleas Court, and Juvenile Court, which is the legislation Andrew mentioned that'll be coming before you. And then yeah, and we've recently begun some discussions about buildings 2 and 3, the old JFS buildings 2 and 3 on North Main Street that have sat vacant for 10 years now, and we're looking to essentially do something with those 2 facilities as well. I would tell you one of the goals is we spent so many years with no money for capital improvements. If we could get these buildings all in a essentially almost a turnkey brand new situation and be able to pay cash for getting all that done and not incur new debt, I think we will have accomplished quite a bit during a few year period. So, and again, it's just one building at a time, moving folks to these buildings and moving them back and then on to the next one. So
Thank you.
that's the plan.
Any final questions for, go ahead, Rita.
We need about another million in appropriations, and 1.1 million in cash will move through the capital fund.
Thank you. Ms. McKinney?
I just wanted to echo what you said, Chair Walters, just about, you know, I know there were a lot of surprises, and with surprises, that means a lot of problem solving, and I just really appreciate everybody that has worked on this and had to pivot and had to try to do it in the most quality way and the most enduring way and the most cost-effective way. So I just want to thank everybody for that.
Yeah. Sure.
Allie, short on your screen there, you guys said that you guys were short on supplies. What was short on supplies that they were given? Like, is it the contractors? You know how like one of your presentations said something about short on supplies.
So that was at the beginning, and then a lot of the things 3 years ago when we started this was long lead items. There still was some long lead items with the elevators, the steel on the elevators that took a little bit longer. That's why if you notice the schedule for the elevators isn't until December. I think November for the parking deck elevators maybe, because we had to wait for the structural steel to come in for the elevators. That's everything else is in, and the contractors they have it on site either on the 6th floor or the 1st floor of the Ohio building. Okay.
Thank you. Any final questions? All right. Thanks, everybody.
Well, real quick, Holly, how much did we / the taxpayers of Summit County have to pay in tariffs for the elevator piece of this? $26,000?
24, 27, something like that for the tariffs for the elevators.
Yeah. Just
Yes.
Just
Fingers
Waiting
crossed.
for your rebate check?
So to be clear, it was the elevator tariffs for the parking deck. There were no tariffs for the Ohio building elevators because when we bid those, the tariffs had already taken place. So this was
there are
just for the
other
parking deck.
tariffs that just haven't bubbled to the surface
Correct.
because they were included in the pricing we paid. So.
Right.
Love that. All right. Thank you.
It's a great question. That's a great question. We'll follow up on it.
Okay, I'm going to move on with our agenda for the evening. Our first piece tonight is 2026-146, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a 5-year sublease agreement with the Summit Soil and Water Conservation District for office space located at 1180 South Main Street, Akron, Ohio, in Council District 4 for the executive and declaring an emergency.
Good afternoon, Council. Andrew Berry for the Executive's Law Department. This lease has been going on for at least 10 years that you have been approving. The space for the Summit Soil and Water Conservation District at the Pry Building. They rent approximately 1,800 square feet on the second floor of the building. If you know where the Record Center is, it's right next to that, down the hallway, also close to Administrative Services. The rent is approximately $12,800 quarterly for the first year, and every year after that it goes up 1%. This is a 15% increase from the final quarter of the previous lease, which was around $11,100 per quarter. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Andrew? Have a motion? A motion from Ms. Hyam on 2026-146. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks, Andrew. 2026-147, a resolution approving and authorizing the executive to execute and submit the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program 2026 Action Plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for program year 26, authorizing the executive to execute the 2026 Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program contracts, and authorizing the executive to execute any documents and submit any information necessary to meet the urban qualification period for 2027 to 2029 for the Executive's Department of Community and Economic Development. Holly.
Holly Miller, Department of Community and Economic Development. This is our yearly legislation that we do to submit our annual action plan to HUD. This allows us to spend our CDBG, Community Development Block Grant funds, and our Home Investment Partnership funds. CDBG went up about $70,000 this year in funding, and Home went up about $24,000. All of the action plan goals are part of Exhibit A that you have in your packet. We use CDBG and home funds to leverage our other program funds such as home weatherization, lead abatement, and our household sewage treatment septic system program. As a reminder, CDBG funds cannot be used in the cities of Akron, Barberton, or Cuyahoga Falls. And home funds cannot be used in Barberton or Cuyahoga Falls. They can only be used in Akron. If Akron puts in 51% of home funds, then we can put in additional home funds into that project. Be happy to answer any questions.
Holly, can you remind us, besides the home allocation to the city, are there any other matching requirements for either of these programs from us?
No.
Thank you. Any other questions for Holly? Do you want to move on this, Mr. Wilhite?
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Wilhite on 2026-147. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much,
Thank you.
ma'am. And Planning and Economic Development will close at 5:17.
Good evening. Public Safety will open at 5:17. We have one item this evening, 2026-148, a resolution authorizing the Court of Common Pleas General Division to make additional expenditures in the amount not to exceed $20,000 for a total amount not to exceed $40,000 for hospitality items for events to be held in 2026 for the Court of Common Pleas General Division and declaring an emergency. Good evening.
Hello, David Magora, Summit County Court of Common Pleas General Division. We are asking for an increase in our hospitality budget of $20,000. The reason for the increase is to host a staff professional development event on 8/28/26. As you know, we have over 180 employees. Many of them have licensures, certifications that require continuing education hours, and we want to bring that to Summit County for our employees, host one event, and focus on leadership development and strengthening the overall effectiveness of the court. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from committee, please.
But,
Questions from council.
okay, thank you. So is this a one-time event, or is it going to be done
It's
in
a one-time
certain
event.
cycles? Okay.
It's going to be held on August 28th, and it'll be the only event of the year.
And it won't be an annual event or every,
There's a chance, we're kind of using this as a test. I mean, we have some employees that have CLE hours that are required, you know, attorneys, court reporters,
Okay.
our probation staff. So what we're using is trying to look at this to see if it's more cost effective to bring the training here rather than
Right.
send all of our staff and pay for travel, registration, just lodging. So if we could show that this is cost effective, maybe we'll bring it back next year as well.
I can appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And just to clarify, so this will be credentialed training, so they'll be able to earn CLEs, potential for your social work.
It will be. So we're applying through the Ohio Supreme Court for CLE hours through the National Association of Court Reporters for continuing education and changing offender behavior hours for our probation staff as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions from council?
Where is it being held?
It's going to be at House 330.
Other questions? This is just a simple question, I guess.
Sure.
In my ignorance, but what are we talking about with regard to hospitality items? Is this feeding the trainees essentially?
Pretty much, yeah. That and for the event, we were going to bring in a keynote speaker as well. We're still looking for one of that and open for any suggestions if anyone has any ideas. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion for 2026 from Mr. Schmidt for 2026-148. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we will close public safety at 5:23.
Good evening. I'll open up Health and Human Services at 5:23. There's two items on the agenda. 2026-149, a resolution authorizing the executive pursuant to Section 177.13 of the codified ordinances of the County of Summit to increase the purchase aggregate total for calendar year 2026 with 9 non-emergency medical transportation service providers operating under contract with the County of Summit for the 2026 federal fiscal year from 10/1/25 through 9/30/26 in an amount not to exceed $11 million for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services emergency.
Good evening, Tom Jalbert, Executive Department of Job and Family Services. This is a request to increase our aggregate legislation for our net providers up to $11 million this year. Just for some information, we onboarded 4 new providers this contract year, some of which had higher rates than we anticipated. The trip count is significantly higher than we had anticipated, and actually the mileage that they're traveling has increased significantly, which is the biggest driver of this. So we're increasing this to $11 million. And as a reminder, this funding is 100% pass-through through Medicaid, so it's no effect on our county or JFS budget.
Any questions for members of committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We've increased it to 11 million. What was the cost prior to that?
The original estimate was $7 million.
Okay.
Any other questions from members of committee or members of council? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Wilhite. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 2026-150, a resolution declaring Friday, June 5th, 2026 as Gun Violence Awareness Day in Summit County to honor and remember the victims and survivors of gun violence and to join in calling for the prevention of gun violence by wearing orange for the executive and declaring an emergency. Any comments?
Mr. Chair, I'll speak to this if I can.
Sure.
Obviously, this is an ongoing problem that we continue to work to find solutions for the scourge of gun violence here in Summit County. And we are hoping to bring a community group in to actually recognize Gun Violence Awareness Day when when it actually happens.
Yes.
So, thank you for your support on this one.
Thank you. Any questions for members of committee?
Could I make one comment in support of this too? I'm sure everyone has seen all of this writing as we go about our daily lives, and mass shootings seem to become the norm instead of the exception. But I would just remind everyone that gun violence is still the leading cause of death in children and teens in this country. So now more than ever, our awareness and our ability to speak up about this issue will make a huge difference in the lives of children. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate both comments from my colleagues on council. I had the wonderful pleasure, which is who we're hoping to maybe have come, of watching a documentary from a group of sixth graders who put together a film urging students to look back almost at the past, hear from people who have been affected by gun violence, and make different choices about how they want to move about the world. So excited to hopefully get them in here so that you can hear their story and how they went about putting what I thought was a wonderful documentary together soon. Any other questions from members of committee or comments? May I have a motion?
If I could just add, sorry. Not only is it the #1 leading cause of death for children, but it is so preventable. All we have to do is look around the world. We don't have to live like this, and we can make a different choice. And as Councilwoman Walters said, we seem to be treating it like it's just another day in America, and, you know, people die in the Noisy Oyster, shootings all over the place, it seems, every few days now. And it's right here, and we've just learned to live with it, and we need to stop and think that we could be doing better.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion? Motion from Councilman Lacotte. All those in favor? Opposed?
We do council as a whole.
Council as a whole, yes. So we have a motion from Councilman Lacotte. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And if there's no further business, I will close Health and Human Services at 5:28.
And, excuse me, we'll open up finance at 5:28. We have one item, 2026-152, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with R&R Donnelly and Sons Company, DBA R.R. Donnelly, as best practical source for printing and mailing services for the 2026 Centennial Property Valuation mailers in an amount not to exceed $207,531 for the fiscal officer and declaring it an emergency.
Dominic Basile, Director of Real Estate and Appraisal with the Fiscal Office. As you know, it's a reappraisal year here in Summit County, and Ohio Revised Code requires that we notify property owners by mail or in person of any time there's a change in value to a specific parcel. For this reason, the Fiscal Office is seeking approval to enter into a professional service agreement with R.R. Donnelly for the mailing and printing of all value change notices resulting from the 2026 reappraisal. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
Committee questions? Council questions? Can I have go ahead.
Will the mailer include, when the different communities have the gatherings where people can contest their property values, if there's a reason for
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the reverse of the mailer will be every location and date and time that will be
Schedule.
available. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Dominic, does that go out in 26 or 7, this mailer?
Does it go out?
Mailed, yeah. Just curious. I'm just wondering what happens if the movement to eliminate property taxes would happen. Or if it even makes it to the ballot.
It's scheduled to go out July 20th, dependent upon, of course, when we receive approval on new values from the Department of Taxation.
Okay, just thought it would be interesting. Any other questions?
I'll move.
Ms. Walters moves on 2026-152. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, and I will close out finance at 5:30.
So I'm going to call the Committee of the Whole to order, and then I'll request a motion that we go into executive session to discuss pending litigation Gregory Taylor versus Candy Fathery et al. A motion from Councilwoman Walters. All those in favor? Oh, sorry, roll call.
Mr. Schmidt, Ms. Hyam, Mr. Donofrio, Mr. Cajun, Ms. Dickinson,
Aye.
Mr. Ford, Mr. Wilhite, Ms. Darrow, Mr. Lacotte,
Aye.
Ms. McKinney, Ms. Walters.
Sorry.